Good day, everybody. My name is Dr. Francois Tessier. I am the CEO of the Center for Complementary Therapy and Pain Management in Sri Lanka. Welcome to this series of Zoom interviews where you discover the most amazing doctors, therapists, practitioners in complementary therapies worldwide. Today, our very special guest is Mrs. Ulrica Garcia Gomez, international certified coach from Gothenbur in Sweden. Before devoting herself full-time to coaching, Mrs. Ulrica worked with sales over 20 years in her country, Sweden. Her portfolio contained many successful businesses, large account, including Rosta, one of the largest retail chains in Sweden with branches in many countries. Before leaving the retail sales business, she signed a major agreement with one of the Sweden's largest food chain. And while she was at the peak of his business career, Mrs. Ulrica decided to make a 180-degree turn in her life. Being interested and curious about humans, she reoriented completely herself from sales to coaching. Then she enrolled in an extensive training at Aldo Civico Leadership and at Unestal Education, a very famous private Scandinavian university specializing in teaching, coaching, NLP, hypnosis, mental training, and this university is recognized worldwide class institution over the world. Then Mrs. Ulrica became an international certified coach, and she created Garcia Gomez Coaching AB, specialized in self-leadership, conflict resolution. Ulrica's mission and passion is to support people to live their life fully, finding their full potential in themselves. Ulrica also became a certified energy healing practitioner as she saw the connection between her body, mind, soul approach of healing. For the last 5 years, she has been working with celebrities, executives, politicians, artists, athletes, and also with the most common people in mental training, business coaching, life coaching, conflict coaching, etc. Always with the urge to make a change in people's life. Well, Ulrica, welcome. You have such a fantastic life path. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Francois.
Thank you.
I'm happy to participate in this interview.
Very good. So here is my first question, Ulrica. You had a very successful business career in sales, right? You were in Sweden with the most amazing accounts in retail business, and suddenly, despite this very enviable position, you decided to make a 180-degree turn in your life. My question is very simple. Why? Why did you do this turn and how did it happen? Tell me this.
Yes, it can sound strange, but for me it was not necessary, but nearly necessary. I finally decided to make the change I didn't dare to do before. I had this sales work or job because I had to. I raised 2 girls and I needed a safety income. So it was, the other thing is starting your own business. It was a little bit too insecure for me. So, and then when it was always there, in my mind and thinking, if I could maybe, no, I don't dare. But when the girls got older and they weren't so dependent of me anymore, and so my life situation changed, and it led me to taking the step, and it felt good because when I left the job like a salesman, I don't even think I like to be in sales.
Oh,
No. I was not comfortable, in that job. I think I felt more like I was an advisor to my customers. It felt more, better to see how the situation were, go in and look what did they need, and sometimes, of course, they didn't need what I had to sell, and that then it became very strange for me. So I don't think I was such a good sales.
but were you discovering at the same time coaching at that moment? Were you discovering this interest for coaching? And also something that came to my mind, being in sales, did you kind of discover the first, I would say, elements of what is success about, isn't it? Didn't you do that?
Yeah, and success doesn't have to be that you. For myself, I found out that when I was true and when I was authentic and when I could have a good conversation and my customer could trust me, I did the business. The business just came to me. When I tried and to do what we were supposed to do and what we were trained to do, it was it became difficult. But then, because then you start to think and you think so much about it, so it goes around and you say I think that they could feel it was not authentic. But when I just took that away and I did, then I started to say, oh, so I think that was a good way of working, but it's also difficult because when you not own your company and it's difficult to try to implement those kind of things into sales, because it's very strict and you should do this and you should do the calls and you should say this and you should do this, and so you have to close the deal in a special way, and so I think I was a little bit different.
Right. So in a certain way, you were yourself, I would say, looking for coaching, and you were your first client in a way, your first candidate for being coached. Weren't you looking for some direction in your life? Were you in the search of this kind of solution yourself? Were you your first client in a way, isn't it?
Yes, and I think the coaching I didn't know anything about because I didn't like the word. There are some words that I don't like. It's like coach, outlet, and things like that, because they have used it in the wrong situation and in the wrong. So it's a little bit it's very bad for your ears to hear those words all the time. You get really tired of them, and I think I was tired of all the coaching that came. I think it was in the middle of at the end of the 90s or in the 20s or something, and then they talked coach, and you did. So I probably didn't know what it was about. But since early age, I have been curious, and I didn't know that either. I think it has been natural for me, and interested in people. I'm the youngest in a big family, and it was important for my survival to read people, to and I think the interest came that way. And I love to go down to the subway and sit and look at people and look at the behavior. So
So
in my
this is the way that you discovered coaching. You
yeah,
discovered coaching by observing people, by wanting yourself to change your life and taking some action. So you were kind of your first client, your first patient, right?
yes, of course,
Right. All
very
right.
heavy.
And yes, of course, of course. Right. So during your training, you discovered something that is called mental training, and you were trained by one of the most famous person, Mr. Lars Erik Unestate. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yes, Lars-Erik Unestål. Yes,
He is a very famous person in the world. Can you
yeah,
describe what is mental training? What did you do with this
yeah.
person?
It first come across when I was working in sales. 1997, I started with mental training because I went to a course, a 1-year course, a course for communication through mental training, and then you could see the difference when you were preparing yourself for sales meeting or whatever, with mental training. And it's like a self-training where you take responsibility for your own situation and your own life. And because in mental training we see it's you have unlimited resources, and this mental training make you realize and help you find the way to use it. And
Wait a minute, I see a connection with your sales career now because you're
yes,
talking
yes,
about
yes, yes.
sales. So you could you look at yourself back in time and take that as a model? How did you make the connection with your sales career? Did you make that connection or didn't you?
Yes, because we often are in a stress level, and when you work with mental training, like in this relaxation that it really is, you lower your body um, level, the energy level. So when you go into meetings or sales meetings, or before you do it, you lower your level, so you have more space up to the roof, so you can work more focused and trained. But it's like replacing thoughts and word with pictures. So you see pictures, and you see like you already done what you want to achieve. So if I want to have a good outcome, if we take an example in sales, I want to have a good outcome, I already seen myself doing the deal, to close the deal. Because then my approach from the beginning would be more fluently to the end, because I already thought I'd done it.
Achieving it.
Yes,
Achieving it. Yeah.
yes.
Uh,
So
I have a sub question that comes to me. I'm sorry, Ulrica, to interrupt you, but I would like to know all along this process, when did you discover your aha moment? When did you discover the real passion for that coaching and mental training profession? What happened? Where did your passion was born?
where my passion was born. Yeah, and as I said, I've always had people going in and out of my door talking about problems, life. The phone is ringing all the time. And 6 years ago, I met my husband. And he listened to me, and he saw all these people come and go, and he saw all my phone calls. And he told me, Ulrica, you can get paid for doing this. And I said, what? And he said, I have listened to you, and we have, at our company, we have hired a coach, coach trainer, to tell all the things that you do when I listen to you. So you could do the same. And I was thinking, what? I can do this. And that was the beginning of the thought of, getting my own business. What should I do? And I could start more focused to go where I wanted to go. And I had the mental training. So that part was very important for me to use. So when I looked for coach education, of course I had heard that Lars-Erik had coaching training. So I had it back here. So it was natural for me to contact them. And then I started my training at Unistol Education.
Why this person is so famous around the world? Tell me how it is. What is so special in his approach that does not exist elsewhere? What?
Oh, there are many good mental trainers, of course. But I listen to this man every day in my ears since 1997. And I never saw the man. I just saw him in pictures. And, to have this, his voice is, cemented in my whole body. So, of course, he's special. He's special for many because the mental training, you listen to his voice every day in different stages. And that makes a special connection. And he's an amazing person. And he's the best. So why don't go for the best?
And you went to there, huh? And you did not regret, right?
No. He's still alive. He's I think he will be 82 this year. And he's very viral and fresh, and it's I really enjoy to having talks with him and listen to him. He's an important man for the new era of thinking. But there are many good mental trainers.
So then you became a certified coach and you started to work with all sorts of people, like business people, because you were in business in the past. You work with celebrity to help them to achieve their goal, etc. We all know that counselors and psychologists exist, but we know less about what are coaches. There is a big difference between both of them. Can you explain what you are doing as a coach with the people when you meet them, as opposed to what does the counselor do, right? What is the difference between the two?
I think the big difference is as a coach, we only look back in time to get tools from the experience. We use the experience you had to work in the future, because it's important to know you can't do anything about what happened in the past. So why talk about it? Use it as a source of knowledge instead of changing or using it in the situation you are now. Of course, we can talk about it and we understand it, but we don't dig into it and start talking about why and why did this happen. And we use it with a good mind, and we're grateful. We talk about being grateful, and imagine talking about this when the person in front of you have been abused or something, and it's been going through hell in life, and you're trying to change that to so it was. How can you use that today in your life, and it made you become the person you are now, talking about that things instead. And I think that's a little bit different working with coaches. And yes, I think it's that's the big difference, I think.
I understand. Can you tell me about case studies? Because in a certain way, when you do that, you kind of heal people, aren't you? They have a sufferance, they have a pain. If it's not physical, it might be physical, but not necessarily. So give me some example that I can understand what it can do on people.
The coaching, it always depends on what you want. But we're talking about life, and life is like 7 pieces or something. You know, it's about love, environment, money, work, self-development. It's so many. So wherever you are, if you came to me as a businessman or a private person, you always, life is really the same. And the company is the same. You just changed the name of the but I think the most important thing is, I don't really understand, remember the question, but you know what you want, but you don't know how to get there. And if you want a change, the deeper you take the change, the more sustainable it is. And it's important to know, don't go on the surface, don't do it light, talk about it and feel it, then you see the results.
Yeah, tell me about your best case study. Tell me about the thing that you did not believe you could achieve and you finally did achieve. Give me an example of what you have done before with coaching.
Oh, it's I have done the what we call the process coaching, or the coaching where you want to achieve something or you want to change something. And I went to a deeper level, so I took level 2, and I did a life coaching, and then you go to your subconscious mind and work, and that is a very strong tool. Being down in relaxation, or being down when you feel. So there's not really a way of me of, I don't have a plan when I work. So if I sit, I listen and I feel. But a strong work where I thought I got good result was when I was using all my modalities. And my modalities is NLP, mental training, and energy healing. So I had a person where I started, the person came with a feeling of pain, physical pain. And that was a challenge because it was very severe pain and a very severe case. Because when I started to talk, it was more than just pain. But the feeling after just talking and then using the energy healing and then using the way of taking the relaxation and the mental training, the whole thinking all together, it became so strong. After one session, it was a big difference. And that was a really big moment, because I felt like I was there with all the connection. Many people come to me for just a change, in a career or something. But here it was so big because it was the whole person's life, with the children, with herself.
Yeah, I can understand. So, speaking of which, you often refer to the concept of the body, the mind, the soul, the body, mind, soul approach. And how can you explain the connection between these two aspects of the personality? And do you think that if we can heal the mind, we also heal the body and vice versa? Did you have that among your patients?
Yeah. I'm a big believer of the connection between body, mind, soul. For me, I can't understand why there are some that doesn't work that way, but I can understand it. It's pretty new and it's a little bit controversial, and for some people it's very hard to think of, because you can't really get a grip of it. But I believe that everything is connected, and it has shown that everything is connected. The body, if you have physical alignments, it affects your mind. And then when the mind is not good, of course it affects your soul and your inner being. So and yes, I think you have to heal a bit. For me, it was important to heal before I can heal, but I can also not be totally healed, because I'm just a human, and you are just human, and every healer is just human. But I think we have to be aware of the things we have gone through and be grateful and know how we are.
Very good.
Yeah, to be aware and conscious. That's a good start to heal. Because I think we get more effective.
Right. So you added into your portfolio of tools recently energy healing, a modality that I also practice. And I would like to know, because you said that when you approach a client, a patient, you are combining all your approaches. How does energy healing come in play in your approach with your patients?
Yes, because I can go deeper. I can feel blockages. I can feel when they are unbalanced, because many times we have problems because we are unbalanced. And of course, it is we are unbalanced in body, mind, soul, but we can also be unbalanced in our body. And it gives me a tool that I can see more clear what's going on here. I can understand. Yeah, that behavior is because probably I can feel the blockage there. And then I can say, it's like a chain. and
Yeah.
the other things lead. I'm a little bit of detective. I try to, go further, and then I make a hit there, and then I can go there, and then so it's like working, like
On different
looking for.
layers. Is it like working
Yes,
on different layers?
yes, yes, and you have to go there and see what's happening here. Then you see, oh, maybe that's why. I maybe shall ask that question, and then it leads to other. And then when I work with the energy healing, of course, I can feel and see, and of course, of the good recipes we use that you and other healers have helped us with, so we don't have to find the wheel every time, because we have good tools in the energy healing as well. I'm not only feeling, sit like
You combine many different things, right?
yes, it's so many things to work with, but it gave me a good cookery book
Yeah.
to work. Yeah.
Along the way, tell me, did you have? You said you're not preparing anything. You said that you're using all your modality. Would you see that you had some new discovery? Did you develop something that you did not learn anywhere and that you are using efficiently with the patient, and that we are reusing? Did you have new insights that you discovered along the way during your practice with the patients?
No, I don't think I discovered anything. I think people have done it before. But what I discovered for myself, and I had the self confidence to leave the thing, and what do you call it? I know that we are working in a special way. I have the structure, because that's what I learned. That's why I go to all my educations. But it's also to have the self-courage to know them and put them there and go with what you have heard and felt is the best for this person you have in front of you this time. Because no one, it can be the same problem, but we are reacting, we are seeing, we have different needs, we are different types. So it's difficult, to have a paper and say, and now I should say this, and now I should do this. So, but if you're a little bit insecure or of what you do, it's very comfortable, to have these tools that we learn. But the most effective is when we can use everything around. But most of all, your ears and what you feel from what you have in front of you.
Right. What is the next step in your career development? What are you expecting to do? Do you aim to learn new modalities? Do you aim to do some research? Do you aim to write some books? What's coming for you? What is your future in your career?
I will write a book somewhere in the future. I think I have the name on it. It's about, in Sweden we have a saying, when you have your mouth full, then you do, then you get to action. And it will be about that. Because taking action before you're not there, it's difficult. People try to force, they overthink, they do. But to keep people comfortable in, okay, do what you want. You haven't got your mouth full yet. That would a book be about. And then, of course, I love to learn things. So I will, of course, learn new. I don't know if I will go so much in many different modalities, but maybe deepening the modalities I have. I will deepening my NLP. I'm also planning to deepen my mental training, and of course the energy healing. Energy healing is also deepening by the practice of it. So that's one part. No, otherwise I think
You wish to
especially
go further. You wish to go further in all the modalities than after when your mouth is
and
full.
I'm a little bit interested in hypnosis, but I will see. You never know. But I also see that I think we have to prepare for the time that will come, because I think we will have a lot to do, and maybe we have to see how we can work after, because there's a lot of person in need, I think, now after the corona, because we are going in a new time era, and I'm pretty sure that nothing is going to be the same as it was. So sit and think, yes, as soon as corona is over, I will do what I did before. I think that's for me it's the wrong way of thinking. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to find out, listen and see what I can contribute with in the future, and I hope I can.
Right. So time is running very fast. That's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation, Ulrica. Thank you for your insight. And we are all looking forward to read your next book when your mouth will be full.
And in Sweden, we have to learn to not take, we say hello. I don't know if you do that in Canada, but in Sweden we do hello. So now we are learning new ways of saying hello and goodbye, and not hugging and taking each other's hands. So thank you so much, Dr. Francois.
Thank you.
I love the Asian dish. It's so nice. So I learn it.
See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye bye.